Alright, so today I'm going to be going through my match against Turkey. It was a good 1-0 win. I was a little bit disappointed individually not to take the two chances that I did well to create for myself, but it was a good team performance and it was very good to get another 3 points at home in my first start. So let's get straight into it. In this clip, I originally wanted to show inside to our bodies. A little bit of miscommunication from me and ended up running through. So if I'd have known that, my approach before to the ball and the press would have been a little bit more straight, basically to stop him having the free run of the pitch. But thankfully that didn't happen afterwards and it wasn't an other issue. In this clip I do well not to foul and Mason does really well to win the ball back, which becomes my first chance. Try and cut it back. Doesn't work, but it's nice and positive, which is the main thing, especially early on in the game. This flick on where the ball lands, I'm about 5 yards too far. Thankfully I was able to adapt as the game goes on, so I left that in just to show that here I'm actually quite far away from the second ball, but as the game went on I was able to recognise that and change where I finish for the flick on. So in this one, as an example, I've recognised that the flick on's going to come more inside. So instead of staying out wide as the ball's about to drop, I make my way inside the pitch and I'm on the move to pick up the second, which is different from the first one. Bit of a sloppy pass, but should have probably stayed onto the ball a little bit longer, but we retain possession as a team. Here, another positive idea. Touch was a little bit heavy, but I've had to go around him, and I don't mind that. Again, because it's nice and positive. Great tackle from Bradders. And on this clip, I'll play it back a little bit. I'm anticipating it to go forwards, but I end up getting 5 yards too high. One of the main principles of defending is, of course, to keep the ball and your man in front at all times. So me edging, thinking he's going to pass it back to the centre back, trying to take a head start, means that I actually end up being too high, and I recognise it at this point, but the gap's too big for me to come back and intercept the pass. So really I should be starting maybe where the mouse is here, the cursor, just so to invite the pass and I can intercept it, or worst comes to worst, it has to go over my head. So I'm out of position here, and hopefully as the season goes on, there's less and less of these times where that happens, and it actually ends up being quite a good chance for them. Just a simple pass, tidy up and turn over, which is always good, and we have a bit of a half chance here. This clip I don't mind, I leave my outside centre back to try and jump the midfielder. We get kind of caught in between and he tries to go in between us, so it's not the end of the world to give a foul in that situation. It's a bit of a sloppy pass, just need to take a bit more detail, could take 2 touches, but technically that just needs to be better. This time I do well to keep the ball, and it ends up leading towards our goal, which was a pen. Great reaction from Mace. He worked the ball out to Reggie well. Good bit of 1v1 play. And a great penalty from Ricky. Puts us 1-0 up. This one's interesting because the fullback's read me from one of the previous clips where I've taken it inside, and he shuts that off with the runner there. I end up getting caught on the ball. Could have taken it line or not taken my touch as inside. Stayed a bit close to the touchline to see what he does, but it's always a game of cat and mouse. He ends up winning the ball. But I have a good reaction, which is the most important thing. And here, it's actually not a bad first touch, but I thought this player was going to come and block it, so I ended up not shooting. But I regret that. I should just shoot. If he blocks it, he blocks it. If not, shoot across the goal and hope for the best. So I end up trying to cut back, and it's a missed opportunity, even though it's a bit of a half chance. That was just first half done. This clip, just a bit of defending, but it's good that the ball stays going backwards, which is the main thing. Do well as a team to nick it there. Unfortunate not to get a foul. Here, should have been more proactive, noticing that my fullback had started to edge and it was going to come to my side. Too high here, should be 5-10 yards deeper, level with, I think that's Ollie, just so I can anticipate that and I'm on the front foot, as opposed to having to run backwards like that. I end up deciding not to challenge for the ball because I can see my fullback, Pradas, challenging fit, so I get behind and try and cover him any seconds. Thankfully we end up dealing with it well. Yeah, I do well initially to control it. Show him a bit too much with the ball, and I thought that was a corner. Clearly, the officials didn't think the same thing as me. Nice bright pass. On this clip, I actually didn't anticipate it, or certainly my body position could have been a little bit more on the front foot here as I'm walking back. If I start here and I'm a little bit more on the front foot, that pass could be prevented, but there's a lot of space, so it's not the end of the world where I am. Because it's in the air, I decided to try and intercept it, which I personally don't mind because of the risk reward. That's their last man, so if I win it there, I've got a good chance to go and get a goal. But he ended up doing quite well. This was probably my best chance of the game. Do well to control it with my head. I just needed to put it more in the corner. And here's another angle of it. Yeah, I do well 1v1 defensively. I'm not able to manage to keep the ball. We end up dealing with it well as a team. I do well here to win the free kick. I actually noticed the 1v1 there, so I've rushed really to free kick, trying to get it quick as everyone else seemed to switch off. But looking back, it was definitely a mistake on my part because Torquay put a bit of pressure on us and there was no need to rush it. I think everyone was tired, including myself, and we ended up not keeping it and just inviting more pressure on ourselves. So that's just a bit of game management for me to take and learn into next games. This one we do well to win the ball back as a team. Ended up making an alright run. Could have maybe pulled out to try and get it to feet instead because that man had blocked the passing lane from behind, but it was a good team move to get up the pitch. Here, tried to be positive, finding Mace, front man. A little bit sloppy technically, mentally I think at this time I was getting a bit fatigued. And they're the moments where when you're tired you've got to take that extra care to make sure the quality of the pass is good, and that's a bit sloppy for me. In this clip I actually end up slipping. Thankfully we keep the ball as a team. In this clip, given the fact that I want to try and score as many goals as possible this year, I'm here, and if you look at my position, I'm really too far outside the width of the goalpost, especially as a winger on the opposite side of the pitch. So when the ball ends up being crossed, and it's a great cross from Smarty, I'm too far out. So I notice it and try and get in. By the time that the cross is in, I'm not able to get on the end of it. If I start my run similar to maybe where Mace is, if I just play it back, if I just pull out here and just wait around here to give myself the room to then make a run on that shift to try and get on the end of the cross, as opposed to trying to pick up a second, which is very unlikely the ball's ever going to get to me there. Here I end up getting flattened off. I'm a little bit advanced and square, but I have my fullback inside me, and it's not the end of the world. The ball's got to go over my head, and I'm able to get in and show the ball backwards. This was arguably my second best chance of the game. Do well to do a nice 1-2 with David. I'd say overall that was an unlucky effort. Could have taken the ball with my first touch, maybe inside a little bit more, but from this angle, you can see a bit better. So if my touch goes inside here, the only thing is that centre back might be able to go over and get a block, but it'll give myself a better chance of scoring across the goal. Here a little bit sloppy with a pass. It should really be just going long or back to Josh, and he ends up doing what I should be doing, especially from the second phase of a set piece, and the fact that we're winning the game. There's no need to take an unnecessary risk there. Here I do well to recover, but I don't want to slash at the ball just in case the Torquay player stuck his leg out and I end up kicking him to do a bigger clearance, but I should have just tapped the ball out for throw-in, and I ended up conceding a corner, which was poor. And that was the end of the game. So there was a lot of positives for me, and also a lot of small moments where I can learn from and look to take into the next game. Should have scored that left-footed chance, but we've got plenty of games coming up, and hopefully I'll be able to put that right on Tuesday, and if not, the games following that.